Stop guessing. Start growing. Get swole. You're entering the pyramid phase. Coming off the foundation phase, we're rolling right into pyramid training. Now, phase 2 is one of the main components that we're focusing on is pushing some heavy iron. And so you get to work in rep ranges that are a little bit lower. Now, you're still gonna keep that endurance component because we start in ranges around 20 or 15 a lot of times and work all the way down to 2s. This kind of turned back the clock for me. This is the way I trained in high school. And so this is where my body started to really change around that age group. And so I got stronger, my endurance was still good, but you're gonna get some deep muscle soreness, so the recovery and the lean tissue that you're gonna add with this phase is gonna be pretty phenomenal. This phase, nutrition-wise, we're gonna up your calories. We're gonna introduce some HIIT cardio on one of your days off to kind of offset so we can keep you lean, but primarily you're gonna push some iron, which is gonna be a lot of fun. You're still gonna have some good endurance components because some of the reps are still high. You're not gonna be supersetting like phase 1 on the foundation phase, but we're gonna push some heavy iron, we're gonna push it often, and we're gonna add some really good gains. So some of the main differences you're gonna notice between the foundation phase and the pyramid phase are, I believe that your soreness is gonna be just a hair deeper than it was the foundation phase, because now you're pushing some pretty heavy iron. The roundness of the muscle will still be there, the strength gains are gonna come pretty fast, but you're gonna have to learn how to handle some heavy weight, in which that means mentally, you're gonna have to get up for it. So when it's time to heavy squat, heavy bench, or whatever that is, and you're in that 2 to 4 rep range, you gotta be ready for game time. To ease your mind, the supplementation and diet aren't gonna change a whole bunch. Those habits in the kitchen and with your supplements are already established. So now it's time in the gym to push heavy weight, push it often, and really get those gains. The physique changes that you'll really see coming off of this phase is you just get a little bit thicker, a little bit rounder, a little bit denser. That's what's fun about pushing heavy iron, but also keeping your rep ranges to where the conditioning is still the same. Not quite as same as supersetting, but it's laying a really good layer of lean tissue by pushing the heavy iron. What I always like to think is that my depth changes quite a bit, so meaning from this to this way. So your chest is sticking out a little bit more, your back's feeling a little bit thicker, and the density in your arms are coming around. And so what's excited about going heavy is that physique-wise, you should just feel like you're filling that t-shirt out just a little bit more than you were from phase 1. So some of the obstacles you might run into with phase 2 rather than phase 1 is make sure that your form is super clean on these heavy reps. Now I need it to be heavy, I need it to be intense, but the form still has to be good in the gym. Don't also half your reps. Make sure they're full range, they're real, they're good, they're strong. At the end of the day, you're only hurting yourself if you're not taking things full range with good form. Now I'm gonna be breaking down the training techniques and philosophies for phase 2. So the main training philosophy that this phase is centered around is pyramid training. You're gonna start with a low weight, with a high rep, and simply just work up in weight and down in reps. And just make sure that you're always going to failure on every set. I want you to push as heavy weight as possible with clean form. For example, on leg day, you would just start simply with 20 reps, take a drink of water, then throw on more weight, go 15 reps, grab a drink of water, and that's your rest period. Go down to 12, and then so on and so forth. 8, 6, 4, whatever you're working up to that day. But you want to make sure each rep range is at the maximum amount of weight that you can push for those rep counts. So the split for this phase is chest and back, legs, arms, shoulders with abs. And then you got your 3 days off. But we're gonna do 1 HIIT cardio day on those days off on this phase. Now you can pick whatever day you wanna do that on, and this is how you're gonna do it. I want you to pick your favorite cardio piece of equipment and just do 1 minute all out, high intense as you can, and then 1 minute just kind of moseying along at a moderate intensity. You're gonna alternate that for about 30 minutes. And what I'm doing that for is just to kind of offset just the up in calories a little bit for this phase. And so we want to keep you lean as we can as we're bulking you up. And so that's what your rest days are going to look like. The workouts do remain the same from week to week. I really just want you to key in on pushing heavier iron each week if you can. So because the workouts are not changing, really key in on form and trying to up your weight each week. On top of muscle building, Bar none, you're gonna add strength for this phase. That is a big key to the phase. It'll be pretty fun to start pushing some heavy weight in the gym again. So not only are you adding lean tissue, but you're also adding strength. Now I'm gonna break down the nutrition philosophies that you're gonna use for phase 2. Since the goal of this phase is to increase mass and strength, we are gonna up your calories. But remember, this is not a dirty bulk.
During the pyramid phase of the Get Swole program, you're gonna be adding approximately 200 to 300 extra calories in carbohydrates. And the reason why this was put together, there's gonna be a lot more load into this exercise program. And with that extra load that we need to put together, we need to add some more calories. We chose to use carbohydrates as an increase in this source just because of the intense amount of increased workload.
You're still gonna be eating the same quality foods that you were off the foundation phase. We're just gonna increase the amount of quality foods that you're gonna be consuming.
So what we've done from the foundation phase to the pyramid phase, we've switched up the ratios and macronutrients. In your foundation phase, you're approximately 45–50% protein to about 30 to 35% fats, and then approximately 10% carbohydrates. We made that transition into the pyramid phase, and we made that into about a 40 to 50 to say about a 30% fat and approximately 20% of that into carbohydrates.
So things aren't really gonna change from the preparation of the setup of the diet in phase 2. You're still gonna be taking 3 whole food meals and 3 supplement food meals, spaced out in 3-hour increments throughout the day.
During the pyramid phase, we've added carbohydrates in different areas according to the diet plan. What we did was we added a little bit more carbohydrates to your breakfast. We've added a little bit more carbohydrates to your diet source right before your workout. And the biggest addition is that you've added a cup of carbohydrates or a cup of fruit to your diet right before you go to bed. And the reason why I chose this is because with my experience is that right before bed, if you get a little bit of carbohydrates in you, it increases your serotonin level and it kind of gives you a nice kind of transition into sleep.
All right, so one of my favorite things to do on phase 2 is take the vanilla protein powder, which is our combat, and put frozen strawberries and blueberries in, half a cup each, to mix for one of your snack meals. And so that's something we didn't have in phase 1, which is exciting to have in phase 2.
During the pyramid phase, the one thing that you're gonna definitely feel is a little bit more energy from the carbohydrate source that you're gonna be getting. The carbohydrate source that you're gonna take are gonna be immediate fuel for your body when you work out. And it's also gonna be utilizing and priming your body to use carbohydrate as a fuel to help you build lean body mass.
Big key to dieting in general, or just an overall lifestyle, is you have to rotate your meat sources, you have to rotate your vegetable sources, and so realistically, if you're eating turkey all the time, you're gonna get tired of it. So rotate your chicken, turkey, fish, beef, and keep it in a good rotation, also with your green vegetables, asparagus, broccoli, green beans. It keeps things not as boring and not as stagnant in your diet, so keep everything in a heavy rotation. Now I'm gonna be breaking down the supplement philosophies that you're gonna be following in phase 2. Supplementation for pre and post-workout training is a really big part of this phase. You wanna make sure that your performance is on a high level so you can really push the iron you need to, then have the recovery components all set so you can really recover from the deep tissue soreness that you'll get off pushing heavy iron. So the supplement plan really doesn't change a whole bunch from phase 1 to phase 2. You're gonna wake up, get your breakfast, go ahead and have your Armor V, which is your multivitamin with breakfast, and then also add Recon, which is your recovery supplement. You're gonna roll in right to your second meal, which is your blended protein with Combat. When you hit your lunch, you're gonna eat your lunch and then also add your Armor V again, which is your multivitamin. Go into your 4th meal of the day, which will be your Combat blended protein. Hit up dinner. At nighttime, we're gonna add one more shake, but then also right before bed, you're gonna have your Z-Core PM for your nighttime recovery. That entire window of pre and post-workout and all-encompassed recovery is all set for the day. So just like in phase 1, on your non-training days, your supplements are a little bit different. So you're gonna get up in the morning, also have your breakfast with your Armor V, and take your Recon. Obviously, you're not training that day, so then you're gonna go to your second meal, you're gonna hit your Combat, which is your blended protein, but then now when you go to your lunch, not only are you gonna take your Armor V, but you're gonna take another dose of Recon too. You go to your 4th meal, back to your protein again, 5th meal, which is your dinner, and then ending out the night, you're gonna go back to Combat and then take your Z-Core PM before bed. But on that day, with your Z-Core PM, you're also gonna add some more branched chain amino acids. And so what we're truly trying to do is just make you recover and grow and heal up so you can add more tissue on these days off. That's it for the pyramid phase, which is phase 2 of the Get Swole 16-week trainer. Scroll down to the page below so you can get your daily breakdown of training, nutrition, and supplementation. It's time to transform, build muscle, add precise size, and get swole.